Hello, 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 Hambbage here. Welcome back, as always. Welcome for the first time. I know not everybody is just coming back, so if you're happening to find me on this particular video, congratulations, you won. No, we're gonna have a blast. It's not just a game; it's the game. It's Minecraft, hardcore vanilla, and playing in Java. We're gonna launch our world right now and get back to it. So, for anybody who may be dropping in for the first time or is just catching up, we spent the last episode touring around kind of to the south of where we've established our home, cut out across the ocean, toured. Again, we can wrapped up the last episode just this way, but our base is a long way back that way. There's a. Oh, am I? Yeah, it just hasn't loaded. There's a desert out there. Way beyond the desert, and then a little bit of open water is our base, kind of island, continent, whatever. We've boated south. That's that direction. Went through some taiga, some sunflower plains, some villages and mountains, and all kinds of good stuff. Got lots of good loot. Had a great adventure and exploratory time, and when we caught a corner of a dark forest, I was like, I think that might be the same one. And sure enough, we came back to where we had cleared a few trees a number of episodes ago. So we're going to continue that effort just until we get our inventory jammed up with dark oak logs, because that was the intent of this expedition. And then we'll just cut straight back across the desert as efficiently as we can manage and try to get home, unload. And part of our exploration was to see if there were biomes with other good sources of easily harvested timber, those being jungles and giant tree taigas. Where you have these 4x4 massive trees and kind of climb up, harvest straight down. Really good, where you don't have to, break leaves and wander around and do all that other stuff. Here, we can just kind of aim our way upwards, and I'm not doing as good a job as I should of peeking out around the trees and watching for potential danger. At the end of the last episode, we stumbled upon a couple of skeletons in the dark forest. Same forest, but there's a village way over that way, and it scared me a bit. I was not expecting. All right. Oh, this is what was the problem there. I knew we had two more spaces, but now we're kind of set. I think we may be able to actually get one more stack, because I think by the time we've filled this stack, we may have worked down our axe enough to combine the two. And that would be a nice little bonus. Don't think we've gotten quite low enough on torches to just abandon a stack or anything like that. We're not trying to be wasteful here. Oh, this is a beauty. And we get a little more opening up here where we can keep coming back to get more, because as the reason why we're doing all this, if you are brand new, welcome. This is an HCMC, or Hardcore Minecraft 100%. We're trying to eventually get all of the advancements done playing hardcore. And when you're in hardcore, you can't use any cheats. You can't turn down the difficulty, so you're always playing at the hardest setting, and you have to gather all of your materials and anything that you build with, any of the machines that you build or anything. you have to go out and gather those up. Now, additionally, I like to play without going AFK, as this is a hardcore and we're doing it as a let's play. I want you guys to be able to see everything. Know that, if I have this world launched, it's the record button has already been hit, and you guys get to see everything that we do out here. 37. Let's keep pushing in a bit. Again, never a bad idea to take a look around. On a bright sunny day like this, you shouldn't have too much trouble, but that's just when they get you. I say that kind of with a laugh. Because it's a dark forest and the canopy can be deep, you can get low light levels enough to spawn creepers and skeletons, or zombies for that matter. They don't scare me quite as much as the other two do, but they can spawn in the middle of the day. It's dark enough. Now, that's set to change in 118. Again, a thing I'm not as universally delighted with as other people seem to be. I get it. A lot of people build. I build stuff too. But for hardcore, it's these kinds of activities that. Why am I getting? Oh, because I already had apples. Darn it. Oh, whatever. Now, if I can avoid the sticks. Nope. Get the sticks. All I'm really trying to do here is go over and get the extra wood so it doesn't despawn on us. And then we'll just leave that, top that stack off here. Alright, we've got a chest that is loaded up with goodies. The wood that we need, obviously we need million trapdoors, not literal million, but a whole bunch. So that's our main focus, along with the leather that we now have. Cows are kind of good. We've got enough to cook up the remainder of this beef and have a stack in reserve. We even added a little mutton to that. And eventually we can grow potatoes. So very good stuff. And now we continue our journey to get on back home. So very nice there. Should we swing by and say hi? You guys may have noticed I went to the banks. We didn't get any travel photos in the last episode. So I had to go to the reserves. Got one of the photos we took in our last visit to this village and area. And that was one of kind of a weird outcrop of sand floating in the sky type deal. It just kind of looked cool at the time, so I did a little selfie action. I like to have a few of those banked up. At times I just don't have one, and I let Yahoo. I always want to say Yahoo. It's because fantasy football is getting close, and I keep thinking that's where we have our league hosted and have for many years. No, at times I just kind of, whatever, let YouTube randomly select the thumbnail, basically, because I don't want to then go back through and pull a frame out of anywhere else. All right, nothing too awesome here, but that is where these extra pieces of wood exist. Let's switch this for this. We've got shears. We don't need the wool that bad. All right, so now we're going to cut back across the desert towards the ocean, where we will jump in our boat, finish the journey, and call it good. And last time we'd swung out kind of around those mountains, so this time I think we'll just kind of try to go directly east without, if possible, falling into any ravines or starving to death. Ooh, cat, what'd you get? We've already had raw rabbit, and I don't have room to carry the stuff to cook it. A foot may have replaced like a berry or something like that. Then you start picking, or that mutton. Oh, now did we already come here? I don't remember. Think we must have. Ooh. Ooh. Clearly we didn't. Oh, we're not going to take the gold pants. I don't think we're going to take any of it. And neither of those are that good. The fortune pick for coal is nice. And had there been like a mending pick or something, that would have been great. So I think this is our other village, the first one that we found, and the one where we will likely acquire our villagers when that time comes. Still a ways off. But remember, we had once upon a time climbed up, and I think it was that well that we'd seen off in the distance, maybe. More just taunting us with all of this rabbit. We need to cook at least 2 pieces of rabbit. One for rabbit stew, and one just to have cooked rabbit to complete the balanced diet advancement, I believe. That's what it's called. Eat all the foods, whether they're good for you or not. Which isn't... It's an arbitrary list of all the foods, quote, quote. Let's go... Let's go grab one of those while we can. It'll give us good... Now, if we can find it... Where'd that rabbit go? Weren't we like walking down into town when we saw it? Oh man. Now that I've like declared it would be good karma if we can't find it, what's gonna happen? Cats, rabbits, where'd you go? I mean, it couldn't have... Go kill another rabbit. There it is. Do you think we can get back? Far enough and fast enough for that other one? Back beyond this little portal. These are just nice things to be done with and forgotten about. If I can grab that other one that I know is out here, then we never have to worry about gathering rabbit again. We've gotten the 2 pieces we ever need. Oh, look at that, we got extra now. A lot of rabbit skins too, but it takes like 3 or 4 to make a piece of leather anyway. So, alright, we got more rabbit meat than we will ever need, which is wonderful. Game, appreciate how I'm trying to think what the right word is here. It's not really thrifty. It's kind of anti-wasteful, right? And I'm thinking like, the folks that came out of the Great Depression era of, when I was a kid, grandparents that had lived through really hard times when there just wasn't stuff. And, I certainly remember my grandfather in his garage having all kinds of little odds and ends. My dad was that way too. As I've shared before, he grew up in the UK after World War II, and they having been bombed, it certainly grew into an era of great prosperity. Just like in America, the victors in World War II enjoyed a very prosperous boom, but immediately following the war, cities had been bombed. There was a lot of destruction, and there just weren't consumables. There weren't all those things. And for all Americans and everyone, kind of worldwide, things that we today wouldn't even imagine as being possible, like rationing, were the reality, and they didn't just stop the day the war ended. Societies had to say, in order for everybody to eat, you can't have, let's say pizzas, right? You don't get to have 8 pizzas a week, because if you're eating that much, then there are people that don't have any, and that reflected the fact that there weren't enough people to run the farms or look out for people. So governments had to say that this is what's good for all. You can have so much milk and so much meat and so much flour, and sugar and all these kinds of things to feed your family. You could go down to the store and you got. I still don't know the exact mechanism. My understanding has always been that it was mailed, but you would get these coupon books. And for all I know, you had to go down to an office or, the county courthouse or whatever to actually get them. Wow, all that. Are we close enough to spawn that furnaces keep running? That would be awesome. Because we literally just jammed these up and left. And that would be crazy good. Oh my goodness. For the time being, let's put some of these down here, because I just got to sort. Berries, pumpkins, glistening melon, mutton, apples and pumpkins and rabbits. Oh, we can, whenever, oh, whoops. Get the rest of these emptied. We can put those rabbits in after the... Look at that, we got a full stack of leather. Oh, so good. Alright. Stone. Stone without silk touch. We're living good. Stash that away for a moment. All these dark oaks. Awesome. Iron plugs. Kinda awesome. Book. Awesome. We already got 7 of those, so we don't even need need as much leather as we've got. We are close to the amount of obsidian we need for an enchant table without having even used our pick. Oh, that's not that big a deal now. Let's cook these. Those just go on our stack. Gold blocks. Awesome. We got enough of those. We'd already pulled, I think they pulled the gold out of there, right? So let's grab our apples, make those, make these. Oh, feeling good. And the living is easy. Ooh, cut out. Not a singer. Not since youth choir have I been a singer. The whole voice change kind of deal, that was the end of that. do the iron there. Put you guys away. We're nowhere near making a rabbit stew, but now we've got those ready to go. So again, if in our wanders we end up, walking over a rabbit that didn't make it, we can just drop that meat. Fortune pick, we can stash away. That can certainly help us in terms of our coal, but is otherwise... Now, I don't know, but I've been told are we going to use up one more of those? I think we will. Come on. There we go. All right. Everything will be universally filled with coal. That's all a mess now. Pop, pop. Pop, pop. Just want to do this while we're doing. Let's see if I can remember it. There we go. Close. Gonna have to figure out spacing, and as I'd said, I think we want to double cook our stones. We've got 4. Let's put one away. Still cooking there. Might as well grab them. Need an anvil. For our gold boots here. I can put it up here for now. I don't have an immediate plan to bounce back through. So, hey, they're not terrible boots. I'm not super excited about them, but go. That's our infinity bow. We don't want to scrap that. Now, that did cost us our level, but hey, that's all right. It's good to have it. Now, pull those. Cook these. Still have a lot of that to cook. We need to... Let's just stick this on the wall. Right above the anvil. All right. What... For every... Let's do a bit of calculating here just while we're cooking. I hope we can keep walking away, but we'll let these run for a minute. So for every... Well, to start, we need trapdoors around the edges of every platform. And the last farm we did, which is kind of what I would say is a minimum, we could go up another level, I think. And let's say that to be 4 so it makes the numbers easy. So for each... Visioning the dark room spawner. If you guys haven't seen it, we built it before in World 2 fairly early, and we'll be walking through all this as we build. on a much smaller scale, imagine that this is the hole, right? And then each of these are a side, and you have a channel. The thing that we already framed out in this world is 3 by 3 by 3, and it's a hole, so it's a hole 9 square, and then has a 3 by 3 edge. There's going to be channels 8 blocks deep on each side, flowing water towards this hole, and then we'll put trapdoors on the edge so that the mobs will just willingly not fight it, but drop right off and go down, fall to where we will chop them up and gather up their gunpowder. Up above those, we're going to have spawning floors. And the spawning floors will be 8 by 8, dictated by the fact that each of these channels, if you can visualize them, will be 8 blocks deep and 8 blocks deep. So you have two sides of 8, you just make the square. We're going to have trapdoors on the edges of all those, so the mobs will happily walk off the edges and fall into the water chutes, which will push them down. So there you have 16, if we're counting out the things, say we're hovering in the middle, right? So we're looking at each of the water chutes. On the edges of each of those, you're going to have 8 trapdoors on each side. So 16, 16, 16, 16. That's 64 per level of trapdoors, just to allow the mobs to step off and fall in. So 64 times 4, right? Because we want them to fall off on each edge. So that's 128, and then 256 trapdoors just to get them into the water chutes that will carry them to the hole. Another 9 to throw off there. That's 263. And then you start another 256 per level of trapdoors just to cover all the tops, to keep only creepers spawning in our dark rooms, right? Because we only want the gunpowder, we don't need the bones, we have infinity, and we don't need the zombies. They'll just jam things up. Just make them all creepers. We want that gunpowder for TNT and rockets. So that's what we're looking for, but that's the commitment too. And trapdoors are kind of expensive. Let's take a look at the... I don't even know if we have enough wood. Let's go ahead and just make a bunch of... We just want day-to-day wood planks here. So, if we were to make a trapdoor, you use 6 planks to get 2. So now we've got... this is where I may have to go off fingers and toes math. So we have 256 times 5. That's the ones for the edges plus all the ceilings to keep it just being creepers, right? 1,280 just in laying everything out. Then times 6. Well, hang on. Divided by 2, because we're going to get 2 per. 640 times 6. So we need 3,840 planks to make the trapdoors that we need, not counting the couple extra for around the rim of the pit so that they'll fall into it. Lots and lots and lots and lots of wood needed. And of course we get 4 per, so that's 960 pieces of wood that we get from trees before we process it into planks. And that is divided by 64, 15 stacks of logs So we need 15 stacks just to make our trapdoors, not counting signs or anything else that we may need along the way to get it. So, little planning session. Let's see what we've got here. And the types of wood don't really matter at all, which is nice. So we have 4. Stop splitting. I'm not trying to do that. 8, 9. So we need at least 6 more, if we just count whatever and use up all our wood. Got a ways to go. We're over halfway, which is nice, but yeah, nowhere really close. So that's what we're going to continue to work on. Now these have cooked while we've been talking. Our beef at least is done. Got a little bit of surplus. That's always nice to have. Yeah, it did daylight did come while we were sitting there yakking. Again, it's nice to know kind of what we're going for here. And as we talked about, the next great priority here is our sugar cane. So let's grab these 3. Since we're going to walk over and drop a torch if we haven't already. Because we do need 3 stacks of those for the books as well. And the enchanting can begin even before we get to the full dark room. We'll see. It's kind of a race to see which goes first. But I think we'll make use of our knowledge of the dark forest to just head back there for the quicker harvesting of the wood and get those as quickly as possible. But sugarcane first. Let's go see what we can find out and around, and let's kind of cut straight across what is, I don't know, maybe an inland sea, thinking in terms of scale. It's obviously the ocean biome, but this actually connects all the way around to via mountains and everything else to our land. And actually we'll wrap all the way back around to the desert and our villagers and everything. But we know of a few outlying bodies of water, so I'm not terribly obsessed. And we still haven't, having cut straight south in the last episode, we still haven't seen if it closes in or not out around. And we know out by our mountains where our underground mine tunnel went when we explored above ground there, we had lots of water out beyond that. It wasn't connected. It wasn't like we could just boat through it directly, but we thought with some modifications we could if it isn't just accessible anyway. So we're not feeling hemmed in as far as our water exploration is or anything by having this loop around. But it keeps us from getting too lost, which is nice. Here's a lot of good sugar cane. Some chickens. Hey, chickens, let's grab your eggs. This is a good run for that since we're not anticipating getting too filled up in the pockets. That's just the very edge of our island. And we'll just kind of cruise the coast again. See where sugar lies. And this is a good experiment to see, is all that smooth stone cooked when we get back? Good indication that in fact, you know what? Let's do that intentionally. Let's go back switch out to a whole new batch of stone, and immediately hop in the boat and go away and see if that will cook. That'll be huge, 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 huge if it is in fact cooking while we're gone. Oh, and we'll get this sugarcane on the outside of the island on our way in. Again, not jaw-dropping amounts of sugar right now, but we'll plant all these and then they can grow while we're out and about. Always worry when I kind of catch the edge there and hop into the water. I don't want to break the full plant. I want it to keep growing. Park the boat, faced out for a quick getaway. Alright, let's store up those, store up these eggs. Alright, so yes, everything cooked up our smooth stone. We got new recipes. And I don't remember which it is, but there's something that we have to have that for. And I was fine that I go all the way up in the chest. Splitting. So now we can do 5. Get all our stews cooking here. All right. So, where are we at? Time-wise, we are good. Get out of that mode. Daylight, we are good. Boat is parked. We are now getting as far away as fast as we can to try to put those stoves out of our proximity so they wouldn't normally be running. And if we come back and find that they are, and again, this is just my ignorance, you guys probably already know. I know like farms will not grow when unattended in spawn chucks, but if furnaces keep cooking, that's awesome. We haven't spent a whole lot of time in spawn chunks. World 2 was not in spawn chunks. I think World 4 was, but we didn't get far enough to do it. The 2 worlds we've had the longest, and to put it in perspective for folks who haven't been around there, there were hardly any viewers back in World 2. You guys are welcome to go back and watch me fumble and bumble along. Oh yeah, I almost forgot we're focusing on sugarcane here too. So this is kind of the backside of our that plain where our farms are. Oh man, that's all right. That's exactly what I don't like to do. I like to keep the source sugarcane going. Does this come back out or does it stop? Looks like it stops. No, back in World 2, I think we got to like episode 16, and it felt tragic when we lost. Now, the topic we talked about in the last video was length and how long. Back then, we were still doing 2 hours a pop. I only did a single 5-hour long episode where I was like, oh yeah, that's what stream VODs are. They're out there, people watch them. Totally impractical, though, for anyone who may not be trying to catch up on a stream that they've already seen. It's just too long. You guys aren't gonna sit around and watch that. I understand that. But I think hour-long episodes, again, for some of the YouTube-specific creators that I do watch for other games Let's Plays. I'm gonna have coffee here. The hour-long episode format is great. It's what I watch on a lot of stuff that may not be Minecraft Let's Plays, but it can be, or it can be other games, variety streamers and stuff like that. They will often use an hour if they're doing Let's Plays and not heavily editing. So it allows you to jump in, see the content and all that. But back in World 2, World 2 started on that very first episode. We got about 3 hours in, lost our world, and I wanted to start back over again and get a new start. So we'd begun exploring and then went wandering looking for a base. So it was up in the 30 to 40 hour range world of playtime. So we'd set up villagers. We're just getting had a the base vegetable farms and all that to trade with them. Set all that up. I was kind of explaining my playstyle quite a bit throughout that world and having fun exploring and finding villages and for sciencing stuff and all kinds of good stuff. And then we went to the nether, fell in the lava, and died. It's tragic. Um, but it felt like a massive world. That was another one, though, where we weren't in spawn chunks, so I wasn't really getting that feeling. And my preference to be... I would always prefer to be accessible to an ocean like this than I would be to be at spawn. And, most of the world generations that I've found, or my experience with them, is you will either get an island spawn with loads of ocean but not practical to begin, or you'll get continent and end up wandering a long way away. It's pretty rare that a world like this one shows up where I'm like, yeah, I want to build my base right here next to where I started. So I'll learn a little bit here. For sure, as you guys probably guessed, as many years as I played, there's always stuff to learn, and because I don't just gravitate to, I love watching people that I follow's tutorials to support them and that kind of stuff, but I don't go out seeking tutorials for content I haven't played yet. I want to try to figure stuff out or learn it for myself first, and then if I get stuck, hey, yeah, I know there's always something out there to watch. And I watch enough streamers and stuff like that to have seen a lot of stuff, but I don't just typically sit with a guide playing as I'm doing something. I try to get an idea and then oh, I fell off. Oh, oops. Go from there. So I think maybe this is the backside. Yeah, that negative 118, 120. I think this is the waterway that would eventually circle back around to our base, and the other side, we just haven't connected it through. So, whoa, no. Okay. So now these are the mountains that we'd hopped up on top of, seen the goats, got that picture and everything, and the ones that we're at times tunneling underneath, I think. And this is largely untouched, unexplored, as far as I know. So we got some desert. That looks more like a drowned spawning area than anything else. May have a chest. You can kind of dip a spade, right? Just on the chance. And having gotten some of these underwater, you guys have a better feel here. What, maybe zombie flesh. Mending fishing rod. Won't complain. Again, these aren't always the best in terms of treasure. We get spoiled on some of the other stuff, but hey, not bad. Just for cruising around. Remember, we want to try to find something photo-worthy. Maybe if we find a turtle on land, just be kind of a fun throwaway. We can bank it. As I said, sometimes it's nice to have an image ready to go for screenshots that isn't episode specific. So if I don't happen to grab one in a particular episode, I can come back to it later. And oh, yeah. Look, it's a sea turtle. That way, if we're in our exploration, we find something really cool and grab a picture of it, we can just hang on to these. Must not forget, we're trying to get sugar canes while also proving that our furnaces work while we're away. Without a doubt. Or beyond a doubt. Very erratic in the right click. Seem to be like the torches with mining and stuff like that. It seems very much. Oh. Interesting. That's already our ladder, so we're already back around to our main desert. Interesting. So that ocean does not go as far as we'd thought. Now, we still have an ocean way over past the mountains and the village to the south that we've seen with the icebergs in it, the frozen ocean stuff. So we could come back to that, but yeah, this one turned us back about. And doesn't get us as far away, but alright, that should be enough time. I guess we'll zip back over here, see how we did on our cook. What's become of our cobble. If it's all stone, we can drop it back in again. We got 36 canes. We can at least expand that row. I don't know that we've gathered much more dirt to double that up or anything. And I guess maybe we shift a little bit to focus on laying out the farm or filling in, leveling, doing a little bit of terrain, because that would give us time to cook. We can balance that with the basement and running out in the mines and all that kind of stuff, looking at caves. It's all good. It's all wonderful. We're doing so awesome. But for now, yeah, so we're cooking. All right. I think we're going to call it good right there. This is a shorter one, just to keep you on your toes, because if you guys are commenting that we're going to go read a book, no, not yet. If you guys are commenting that the episodes are predictably an hour, then I'm not doing my job, right? No, I'm just kidding, but maybe it'll get somebody wondering if we've had a tragedy. We'll come on back. We'll do more, but this one contains a little bit in our For Science sugarcane expedition. So you guys enjoy a good break. I know I will. We'll come on back and see you for some more. But until then, take care. And if you're enjoying, consider hitting a like or dropping a comment to let me know. Subscriptions will always keep you up to date on which videos are coming next. And we will see you for a future episode. Bye now.